Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm doing the patch 13.20 notes, so if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and let's get into it. To begin with, there are a lot of changes in this patch. It is the follow-up to the Worlds patch, where they didn't want to kind of adjust anything too big, so it kind of like, it wouldn't interfere with the play going on there. But now that Worlds patch is gone, 13.20, we're seeing a huge amount of changes towards systems like the jungle. We're seeing changes to a bunch of champions, the full Ksante adjustment, a bunch of new coven skins, and a couple of other item changes, Smite being pretty important in amongst these. So let's get into it. So then we've got the Jax visual update. This looks pretty cool. Jax in his new kind of state doesn't look like a 2010 character. It actually looks like he's up to modern standards, so that's really nice to see. Akshan is getting a big nerf. He is probably, I mean, he is the premier AD solo queue mid laner at the moment, and really strong flex into the top lane. He's losing a huge amount of movement speed on his Q, going from 40% down to 20% to 40% scaling, and his E is losing 5 damage at all ranks. These are very big nerfs. This is his primary damage ability, alongside his Q, which is his primary stick to people tool. It allows him to kite around. Losing a bunch of movement speed early is going to hurt his ability to punish you in laning phase. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up too weak out of this and then ends up having to be buffed back up next patch. Bel'Veth is having a bunch of changes. She is really strong in elite play at the moment. She has one of the highest ban rates we've seen in a while. Her passive is going, passive bonus speed after casting an ability is going down from 25 to 50% to 20 to 40%. The E is now going to critically strike, encouraging your crit builds. The damage reduction is going to massively go down from 70% to 42 to 70%. The minimum physical damage is going to go from 8 to 16 to 6 to 10, and the percentage of AD is going to go from 6% to 8%, increasing her scaling and hurting her when she puts points into this ability. Minimum on-hit damage is going to go from 6% to 8%. The R is going to be having its minions lose a bit of health early game, but then buffed back up late game. Alongside that, the true form out of combat movement speed is also being buffed late game. So they're trying to push her more towards crit builds, better late game, hurting her ability to kind of just take over the map early on, hurting her stride breaker, her cleaver to Titanic build, Stoics in there usually. All these do hurt Bel'Veth quite a bit. Once again, might be an action case where she ends up being buffed next patch, or might get nerfed again if this ends up being too much and like her E critically striking with like the items like Kraken Slayer, maybe a crit mythic. I still think you probably pick up the stride breaker, but you might see something along the lines of a shield bow, maybe a BT, Phantom Dancer if you're really kind of able to go down that route. I still don't believe you will, but there is a chance. Galio is having his W cooldown decrease from 18 to 16 to 18 to 14. These help support Galio a lot. They also do help mid Galio, especially if you're putting points into this ability second. And the shield out of combat timer is going from 12 to 11 to 8, which is kind of weird scaling. I don't know why that's not 10, but I mean, fair enough. The main one is for level 11 one. I mean, you can comfortably hit that within laning phase. 8 seconds to kind of rotate the shield really helps him into magic matchups. Of course, it is a magic shield. So overall, quite a nice change there. Definitely think we'll start seeing a bit more Galio support on mid lane. I do also think Galio mid lane's in a fine state, especially if you're going like the Night Harvester, I believe, Shadow Flame build. It does a huge amount of damage. You can use the movement speed on Night Harvester to really get a lot of value out of your W as well. So there are options there. I would recommend going and testing and trying. Jinx getting a huge buff. Health growth is going from 100 to 105. The passive is now going to stack on top of itself to snowball. This is huge for like chain takedowns. Obviously, this now means that if you get an objective and then you get a kill after the objective, you can output a huge amount of DPS. This makes her team fight really, really strong. This alone could be enough to put her into a really strong spot in the ADC. Alongside that, her ult is using 5 seconds of cooldown. The damage is also going to be going up on the ability by 25 at all ranks, and yeah, the health growth going up. All these are really nice changes towards Jinx. Definitely going to help her late game, especially as these are going to be more towards late game. Health growth, of course, being a late game stat. The passive attack speed going to help around team fights and barons, objectives, stuff like this. And the R is going to help with just steals and just its output and DPS. So huge amount of buffs there. Really, definitely going to help Jinx a lot. Ksante is going getting a huge overhaul of changes. This is to make him less frustrating to play against, less pro skewed, less elite skewed. I'm not going to cover all of them because there's just so many, but that is the main TLDR of what they're trying to do here. Kaiser is losing 3 armor. This on paper looks relatively small, but it's actually really big. This is going to mean that she's like 5%, 6% more susceptible to AD damage in laning phase. Yeah, that is enough to be quite harmful towards Kaiser. Definitely going to make her more punishing into lane bullies like your Callistas, your Caitlyn's, your Lucians, stuff like this. Yeah, just punishing towards Kaiser. Milio is going to have his passive damage count towards him. His E is going to have its cooldown reduced by 1 second, but the shield value is going to go up by 20 later on, and the R is going to have a 20% AP ratio put on it. Overall, once again, leaning more towards AP ratios, definitely encouraging the pickups of like a Dark Seal, stuff like this on Milio. Alongside that, shield being buffed by a decent amount. Milio should be in a relatively good spot next patch. Alongside Jinx buffs, wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing a lot more Milio Jinx again. Morgana is having a 3% AP ratio on the W Saptom. I believe this ticks for 7 times, so it's like a brain stopped working. 21% AP ratio increase, but it might not tick for 7 times. I can't remember off the top of my head what Morgana W tick is. There's a high chance it's like 4, but then it halves itself, so it might be like 8 ticks or something. I don't know them off the top of my head. Monster damage modifier is going up by 10%. The Black Shield is going to be going up by 2%, 2 seconds on the cooldown early on. This is minimal. It's not going to do a huge amount. Soul Shackles, yeah, because you're not using this ability on CD. The R Soul Shackles is going to have its movement speed increased, and while facing towards tethered enemies in all directions. This wasn't in the patch notes, so this is actually really big because this now allows her to run rather than using it fully for engage. This does benefit Morgana as well, alongside the huge burst of movement speed here. The stun duration is also going up from 1.5 to 2 seconds to 1.5 to 1.5 to 2 second scale up, and the damage is going to also be going up by 25 ranks. Yeah, and the AP ratio is actually also going up by 10%. So overall, the huge buffs towards Morgana are. This is actually, yeah, huge, as it's a double hit as well. You were looking at, like, yeah, a huge amount of damage here. Definitely going to help me playing Morgana. I'm going to be playing a huge amount of it because I believe that this, combined with the R, really encouraging levels like your 6, 11, 16, yeah, really big for Morgana. Quinn is going to have her base health go down by 40... No, I've also done maths wrong here. 38, there we go. Which is really big enough towards Quinn. Heart makes her much more punishable during laning phase, combined with movement speed decrease, allows bruisers and tanks to catch up to her, deal more damage. Once again, like, really just punishing towards the laning phase, hearts are roaming, stuff like this. Attack damage growth going up by 0.3 isn't going to suddenly, like, compensate this. I think Quinn is actually going to really be put in a bad spot with these changes. She'll probably still be, like, above 50% win rate, but once again, Quinn being above 50, you kind of want her on the high end because it's mostly played by one tricks. And if she's more towards 50, then she's usually in a pretty bad spot because, well, yeah, once again, it's usually one tricks picking the champion. Zed is having his W nerfed. Finally, this champ is an AD caster mage at the moment, and it is obnoxious to play against. I don't think Zed's in a good spot, but this is a band-aid, so it's better than nothing. 3 seconds is a big nerf. It should encourage him to go back to E-maxing, but there is still a chance that he does W-max or 3 points E, W-max, stuff like this. So there are options there. Ziggs is having his Q hitbox increase from 150 to 180. I don't know why they're doing this. I think his Q hitbox was fine, but no, this is weird because it's going to feel really obnoxious to play against when he hits a minion on the backline, and then it also clips you because the radius is bigger. And if you're used to playing against Ziggs, then this can also just be kind of deceptive of a change now. Overall, yeah, this is a miss, but I guess it's quality of life in a way. It probably is actually just 1% win rate increase. It could be anything like that. Lightning Jewel is having its gold price decrease from 1,250 to 1,100. Dustblade is having its ability haste go down from 20 to 15, and the damage amplifications going from 0 to 18% to 0 to 16%. Pretty big enough towards Dustblade here. I didn't think it needed both, but I can kind of see why they wanted to do both, to really, like, make it in your eyes that, yeah, that Dustblade is definitely weaker. I mean, Youmuu's will probably be the go-to now again. Once again, I don't know why they keep just swapping between these items. I think both of them should be balanced towards similar levels, but I guess in a way they're seeing Dustblade as being a frustration point with the invulnerability, so they want to keep it weaker. LDR is now having its Giant Slayer passive applied to shields and lifesteal, but the damage is going to go down on Giant Slayer from 0 to 25 to 0 to 22%. Overall, it's probably power neutral, if anything, enough, because this is definitely going to hurt in games where there is no magic, no shields, or this is probably power neutral, if anything. Youmuu's is having 4 to 6 lethality put on it, which is going to be massive for the likes of Caitlyn, Jhin, MF. A couple of his champs come to mind. Of course, roaming mid laners really benefit from this. The likes of Kiana, Zed, Talon can utilize this, especially if Talon's if Zed's pushed back towards Youmuu's with the Dustblade nerfs. Smite is having its damage, champions, and pets reduced from 20 to 60 to 40 at all levels. Smite now has a 350 units of targeting forgiveness against epic monsters. This means if your caster is near their model but not on top of another valid target, or acts as though you're targeting them. That's an interesting change, because I mean, that's how a lot of missed fights happen, when you don't actively target the epic monster. So I mean, I kind of like that. Damage type spell is now proc, so it no longer triggers the likes of Demonic's Embrace. Not a bad change there. And the damage on switing monsters is going to go from 50% of swipe damage to 100% of swipe damage. And then there's a bunch of changes. They're mostly net nerfs towards jungle, the jungle, with buffs towards HP metrics on the monster health values. They're also changing the formula. Rift Scuttle is going to be more tanky. Yeah, significantly more tanky. The gold given is going to go up later on into the game. The experience is also going to go up later on into the game. They are changing monster attack damage formula. They're changing sustain in the jungle to be 12% of missing health rather than 30 to 160. 90 to 87 here to 20% of missing mana. Jungle companion scaling is going to be going up, I believe. To 16 to 10 to 10. Oh wait, no, they're changing the values in certain aspects. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. The companion damage radius is going to be going down from 900 to 650. The companion heal per second is 70% of damage. This isn't changed. Companion heal per second is going to have a cap, because the likes of Rammus was really abusing it with like high armor values. Anti-poaching adjustments. Jungle item bonus damage to a non-epic monster is going to go from 20% to 42%. Large monster armor magic resist is going to go up. Same with small monster armor magic resist. Lane minion experience adjustments from junglers. I believe it's going to be going down early, but then back up at minutes 0 to 20. Minion experience penalty is no longer locked in whenever jungle item is finished. At the moment, but yeah, I mean, Doran's Blade buffs, so we've got 2 damage on Doran's Blade, 100 up to 100 health, 3 ability power additional on Doran's Rings, plus 20 health, 30 health additional on D-Shield, combined with the buff towards its regeneration when damaged, which is a big buff towards D-Shield. This is really going to make D-Shield users pretty unmovable in laning phase. There could be a concern about them having to then nerf this, but then the argument is, with these being buffed, it could end up skewed more towards the fact that it's balanced. But I haven't seen it yet in action, so it'll be interesting to see. Darksteel was having its health go up from 40 to 50. This encourages Darksteel pickup still, just not as a starter item. So it hurts early game snowballing, which I'm pretty sure is what they wanted to tackle. Well, in a way, good thing. Relic Shield, Steel Shoulder Guards, Spectral, Spell Thieves, Silver Support, T1 items getting buffed up to kind of match up with the Doran's items. Water Walking is being adjusted to lose movement speed but gain adaptive force. Snowballing adjustments, bunch of changes here. Overall, TLDR is they're nothing Drakes, they're buffing Souls, they're nothing Herald Gold, they're buffing Nash's HP, they're they're shortening death timers in the mid game. Turret plating is going to give less gold. Bunch of rune adjustments, all these are being nerfed. I believe they are, well, they're gaining base damage but then losing in the scalers. ARAM adjustments, so buffs towards Rek'Sai, nerfs towards Jhin, Lissandra, Malzahar. Behavioral systems, ping adjustments, which is the big one because, I mean, the new ping system fucking sucks. Allied scoreboard pings are now sent to your pre-made party instead of being self-ping only. For 10 seconds after getting a champion takedown, all allied scoreboard pings directed at your champion are visible to the team. Bait ping has been replaced by enemy vision ping, and the hold ping has been replaced by need vision ping. Vision ping doesn't really have a place anymore, so that's been removed. Kind of sad. I kind of used the vision ping wheel, but hey ho. Worlds Clash, pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they usually do a 16 bracket instead of an 8 bracket. Yep. And more rewards. So it's adjusted to a 0 to win to loss record rather than being placement, which is also a huge change. I'm really glad they did that. We've got the Mythic Shop rotation. So Neopax Jax is now available. That's an interesting one. Alongside that, a bunch of other Prestige, Star Guardian, Syndra, Ocean Song, Seraphine, Darkstar, Malphite, Pearl, and Lux, and then we got a bunch of things leaving. Bug fixes and quality of life changes. I mean, this one's quite nice towards Shen. Fixed bug that caused Aatrox movement speed buff from VFX to R to disappear. Fixed a bug that caused a scoreboard to desync if a takedown occurred while blinded. Oh yeah, this was like really irritating. When Nocturne ulted, you couldn't like your ADC's scoreboard. Everyone's scoreboard. I'm just used to ADC being more targeted. This one's funny actually. The Mecha Kingdoms Jax E used to have like a permanent ring beneath it if you if it stacked up during the multiple hits. What else we got here? Fix a bug. Yeah, the Briar one. This Vandal made a video on this one. What else we got? Wishing. I mean, okay, nothing else too like too important. And a bunch of new cool skins. We've got Redeemed Sargon Rakan Zaya. Was 2023 Redexon, which is a very nice looking skin. Bunch of really cool Covenant skins. I'm a huge fan of this skin line. Neopax Jax. Bunch of chromas for these skins. I would recommend picking up, especially if you're going for the pass. Mecha Kingdoms Jax chroma, I guess. Oh wait, no, they're just showcasing some of the chromas for Jax. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.